That's for America. And that's not for Islam. For Islam, we prefer what we call Islam light. Islam light means that all the rules of Islam apply, but they're enforced lightly. Because people have been in Jahiliyyah Islam. Suppose you'd be worse than Taliban going around imposing Sharia on Muslims today. Islam light, that's what we would prefer. That's for the Muslims. Islam light. Okay. For the society, it's like what we talked about before. Legalize drugs, do all of that. That's to get you past that and get you somewhere else. Because you won't get past nothing. As long as, just like this, it's a lecture, public lecture. Says some drug lord to Imam, that's what they call him, dope dealer over there, drug lord. Director, well-known speaker around the world, he is founder and director of As-Sabiqun. Imam abdul-Alim Musa walked away from the notorious world of drugs to the world of Islam that captivated his soul. That's true. Good for him. He turned his back on the world of drugs and warns the youth to stay far away from it. Drugs had already about knocked South Africa. You know, they're all wealthy kids. Anyway. The Imam, who was invited to South Africa by the Kala family of Pretoria and was the guest of Islamic Propagation International 10 years ago. That's when we started this Rauf program. Rauf, what was it? Reform and all that, upliftment. And it exploded. This is the greatest program in South Africa. That's why they invited me back to speak. We was there 10 years before, and we started it. They said, well, what can we do? So I was telling them, you can do this, you can do that, you can do that. And so that, actually, I helped them start Rauf. And they invited me back. They asked this rich family, bring him back over and we'll take him. That's why all the pictures from South Africa. If Islam did not enter my life, I would still have been on the other side, where many of my colleagues are still languishing in a world that is harming and hurting them as well as our society, said Imam Abdul-Alim Musa. Was it easy for a man making a fortune and who was in the company of notorious Colombian drug lords? Well, actually, I was in Colombia. This is all true. Just like the FBI profile in the newspaper, when it talked about the case against, they said, well, his flamboyant history is true. In other words, the FBI was asked about, so well, that stuff is true. He's not lying, he did it. No, it was not. And it is far more difficult for a drug dealer to stop dealing in drugs than for an addict to keep the destructive habit up. I don't think that's exactly what I said. I think I said it's harder to stop dealing drugs than it is to stop using drugs, because dealing drugs is addictive. The power, you know what I mean? All of that stuff that go with it, hey man, it's harder to stop dealing drugs than it is to stop using drugs. That's what I meant to tell him. I don't know if it came out like that. But anyway, Imam Musa, he said the African-American community was a loving and caring community who protected one another, but when drugs were introduced to them on an organized and a massive scale, the community lost its character, identity, and good-naturedness. We need to be alert to the onslaught of drugs on our society. Once it takes root, It will take over the lives and destroy whatever is dear to us. That's just the lecture. But that's true. So we don't want everything that they use against the people is based on drugs and all this other stuff, right? Yeah. So if you take the drugs out of the picture and legalize drugs, then they don't have a legal right to do all of this. You get a lot of your freedom back. Look at the freedoms we've already lost. I don't even know of any freedoms we got left. Look, they're gonna take pictures of us that we don't even know. They already, anything you say on the internet, they already got it. If they don't ask for it, they just take it. If you're a Muslim, anybody you're around, you're a suspect because you're a Muslim. If you're not a Muslim, you're still suspect in modern society. If you have any intellect, if you have any intelligence, you're a suspect. And if you say anything intelligent in this society, you're going to be on the list. You're a red, a commie, or something. So here we got Abdul-Malik. Now, I don't know who the heck this boy is here. Abu Mansur al-Amriki, Umar Shafiq, born in 1984. Current location supposed to be in Somalia. Well, he looks like the police to me. He looks like the police, that's all. And he may not be. Well, this is definitely police here. Yeah, that's the police, all right. I know they're the police by the way they treated me. I know they're the police by the way they treated the brother. And al-Faqih. He's a nice guy, this killer. This boy, they call him the traitor. They give everybody a name. The lecturer, he looks like the police. That's all I can say. This looks like the police. Remember, this is a magazine that they wrote. They're trying to give you a picture. This is blogger Samir Khan. He was down in South Carolina or something like that. Samir Khan, the young guy at the Masjid, I forget. From Jewish to jihadists. Bull crap. I saw these boys on TV, him and another, they still Jew. You know, remember we was talking about the inferiority complexes of Muslims. Do you know the heads of Dawah for almost all the European Muslim parties are white folks? White folks that was Nazis like. Then they said, we ain't Nazis no more, we're Muslims. Right now, today, I hear them on TV, radio all the time. Now this boy here is openly from Jewish to jihadist. He's a jihadi Jew. If they want to believe it, that's fine. But this magazine is promoting that. The brains and the whip. You know, we don't know Abdul-Malik is the only one. What's the name? Samir Khan. A couple of them. Oh my goodness. The propagandist. That's me. The propagandist. Paramount goal is to establish Islam as a complete way of life. That's what all this stuff say. Anyway, Musa has met with Iranian leader and Holocaust denier Mahmoud They said 2001, Musa al-Asi and the new Black Panther Party, Malik Shabazz held a bizarre event at the National Press Club. You notice they played that at 11 o'clock and they played it at 1:30, finished. You had to buy the program.
Yeah.
You know what they expected? He said bizarre. That program, I don't know about everybody else, that was so clear cut and precise. Now, Malik Shabazz and them might have, see, they thought, they heard our language, they said, we're gonna put them niggas on C-SPAN and they gonna show their butt and they gonna be the laughing stock of the world. Man, what's the president of AM, whatever it is, ADL? Abe Fox.
Abe Fox.
Boy, he looked at that and they played it twice, live, and then they played it at 1:30 that night. After that finished, you couldn't find nothing that, man, look here. And since then, I ain't had no interviews. Well, I had one or two, Sean Hannity and all that. But you got to look at what happened. After Sean Hannity, nothing. After the, what's the name of the programs? Press TV? Not Press TV, but
RT.
RT, finished. They want somebody that's stupid or loud talking. Yeah, we're going to kill these crackers. And that's what old Sean Hannity said. I guess you're going to say something. What did he say? It'd have to do with exciting and I looked at him like he's a fool. I said, you think you don't bring me all the way up here on the train? First I told him, well, our worker is going to meet you. I said, is she a white girl between 25 and 35 years old? Yes. I said, I'll meet at the train station. I'm not having to come by here to pick me up, in the car, take you. And I got to the train station, that white girl's legs were so big, where the boots, they can't hardly zip the boots up. So how fat that guy said. I said, you sit on there. She's escorting me up there to New York. You sit over there. I'm sitting over here. Thank you for being so courteous. I said, yeah, I'm courteous, all right, and I got sense too. I got plenty of sense. Grinning from ear to ear and trying to trap a nigga. It must be crazy. But I'm telling you, people wouldn't even, they would take it as normal. Hey, yeah, girl, what's going on? That's what they would do. That's why I say I am not your local standard card-carrying Negro. I'm just not that. I'm not your standard Negro. We're playing a part in human evolution. We just gotta know we can do it, that's all. Out of all of this stuff, it gets back to getting rid of inferiority complexes about, we said it earlier. If you're white, you're all right. If you're yellow, you're mellow. If you're brown, stick around. The people still, look at all these white people. It's not just the ones, Medea Benjamin and Brian Becker and them. It's the whole, everything that I've seen. Overseas, in Iran, they chasing down non-religious white folks to tell their story.
Yeah.
Okay,
And they talk about, and they seem to have studied about Islam to where they can give an analysis that also, which gives them credibility amongst the Muslims.
Yeah, but see, they can't get deep though. See?
Right.
They can't get deep. I notice all of them. They can skate around the surface. You know what I mean? But they can't get deep unless they get it from you. And then turn it over. But they're too stupid to do that. They're too stupid to do it. Okay, let me get so our worldview is mostly, for America, is social utopian type, you know what I mean? We believe we can do that. We believe we can get a picture of what we want to do, and in 20 years we can have done a lot of that, and we can be setting the stage now to do what we would really like to do. But we could take that first 20 years and clean up the earth, tighten it up, you know what I mean? Suspend all of what we're doing, the policies and all of that, what we do now. We don't have to have these constitutions. We could suspend them for 20 years and do what's good for the earth. Yeah. Earth firsters, that's technically what we are. Earth firsters. How can somebody be so dumb that everything they get, except the stuff that comes through rays from Allah, comes out of the earth? And they trying as fast, they rushing, trying to mess it up. Hey, man, they in a rush to destroy home. They trying to drown their house, burn it up, they trying to do everything. Okay, we'll get back to it. So this is the job. It's the mission. When you raise for a mission, it's not hard. We talked about groomed leadership. That leadership that they got now, you know, they groomed all of those people. I don't want to say all of them, but I'll just say in the high 90s. Those people are groomed to be where they are. But there's benefits of longevity. When you're around a long time, good God Almighty, you see a lot of things. We know who the gatekeepers are. We don't want to get rid of them. We just want to overcome them. The gatekeepers, the people that handle everything. The last thing. Syria is illegal, Yemen is illegal, Venezuela is illegal. Everything that the system does to other people. Syria, the U.S. is there in Syria, holding Syrian territory without an invitation. That's illegal. The Zionists took Golan Heights 50 years ago, whatever it was, 67. They took it. It's against the UN Charter. Can you imagine that the UN is tell everybody what to do except the United States and Israel. Yeah. And it ain't nothing wrong with it. It's just all right. Because they were involved in the Holocaust. You ought to see what our friends say about that. So Syria is illegal. Yemen is illegal. Yemen, they just bombed a school or something today, 7 children, or how many?
I thought it was a hospital.
Hospital, yes,
yeah,
that's right.
Hospital. Yeah.
It's okay. You know why? It's Saudi Arabia, it's their friend. We keep those things in mind when we have Friends of America or Friends of Zionists, of what they can do. They have a carte blanche. Yeah, they have a free roll. Have nothing happen to none of the people that was involved in doing anything to us. Nothing. I got a letter the other day saying, seems like you was involved in some trauma. This is from Alameda County. And I think you qualify for some kind of good government treatment. I said, hell, why don't you have the police come out there instead of sending me a doggone letter, you know, saying that I qualify for some stupid stuff. I qualify for, I got the letter, I'll bring it in today. I qualify for some dumb stuff.
Right.
Medicaid, medical treatment, in the house, help, something like that. I don't know. What the hell is wrong with y'all? The other thing, soon we will be going back to Oakland. And we got what we have in our mind. We're going to take care of those things that need to be taken care of. We'll talk about it in detail on another time. But I would have went back sooner, except this head thing jumped up. And shoot, I went in the hospital. And they, you know, so now it's the 3rd month. And I wanted to feel the way I wanted to feel before I go back there, in case anything come up. So, I'm starting to feel that way. So, I don't care what they think. You know, they can think anything they want. Man, this thing is, okay. Then I'll close in a minute. Oklahoma. Narcotics or something. There's a ticket. I get tickets all the time, but they never show up. That's good. That means that we're on the right road. So if everybody would review this right here, and all you have